Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
USAA. So good, so good, so good.
Easter deals starting at just $25 are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. And that means tons of fresh reasons to rack.
They've got the best gifts.
Because I always find something amazing.
Save on Easter finds from Kate Spade New York, Calvin Klein, MAC Cosmetics, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Whoa, come on in, brother. Sit down and open your mind, man. Listen in to this secret message, bro. It's gonna blow your mind. Whoa! It's wild, man. I know what it's telling me, man. It's telling me, man, that aliens, man, are trying to communicate with us, bro. Can't you hear it?
I think you just have it on backwards. Here, give me 1 second.
You are listening to the Living Artist Podcast. Tune in today and do not wait until you're dead.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Whoa, man, you just blew my mind, man. You mean aliens can talk like us, bro?
Sure, Steve. Sure. That's what that was.
Just a looking about me. Oh, sorry. I can't get that song out of my head. Ever happened to you? Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. And you might have guessed from the intro that that has some deeper meaning. And you might hear from my voice that that might have some deeper meaning. Okay, that's creepy. I'm in the middle of some crazy feelings and some detox responses from some treatments I'm doing. Feeling pretty bad. So I'm going to power through this. But I did use it as a catalyst to think about the art world and a podcast episode for you all in, I think, an impactful way. So all these things that I'm going through, I've just been using them as fodder for my art and my podcast, as long as I can do it, which I haven't always been able to. But I am going to focus a little bit today on seeing things a different way. Because first, let me give you a little bit of an example of that with dealing with this chronic and late stage neurological Lyme disease that I'm dealing with. I was going through it for many years and just throwing my hands in the air, seeing doctors. Nobody could help me. Nobody knew what was going on. I just kept getting worse and worse, kept getting more and more pain, breaking down, and then getting into my brain, having convulsions and seizures and tremors, like Parkinson's-like symptoms, and just getting like horrible, like my mind was being ripped out of my body, just torturous stuff all the time. And I just didn't know what was going on. And then I started figuring it out, and I did some testing, and I got the right testing, and I understood what was going on finally, but it still took a long time. And then you get into this kill protocol. You just got to kill everything in your body. And, that's great. You do got to get rid of some stuff, but you also have to think a little bit outside the box and maybe think in a Tim Ferriss type way of, what if I did the opposite? Or what if the opposite were true? Or what if there's just another angle to this? And that's what I've discovered throughout the process, is that it's not just about kill. It's about rebuild. But doing that in the right order, of course, but it's also about opening detox pathways. If you don't have your detox pathways open first, none of the stuff you're killing is going to get out, and it's just going to recirculate and poison you. And even going further than that, what about calming your nervous system down? If you have this disease, you probably have some major fight or flight going on in your body and some trauma and some stress. And if you haven't cleared that, if you haven't dealt with that, if you haven't learned how to rebalance your nervous system or calm your nervous system down so you can heal, you're never going to get there. You can kill as much as you want and you're not going to get there. So why am I telling you all this? Well, it's something that I've been going through and it's something that's been dismantling my life, but it's also something that gave me an idea about today's podcast, which is what if you're going about your art career and your art process all wrong? What if you need to see it from a different angle or through a different lens? Or what if you need to do something in reverse? That's kind of a powerful way of looking at stuff. It's not just about pivoting. Yeah, we can talk about pivoting and we've talked about pivoting in the past, but what if you're just not doing things in the right order? Or what if there's a tweak that you haven't thought about that is just blocking you from getting all of this other stuff done? You know, I know a lot of artists and I've talked to a lot of artists and I've had a lot of artist friends over the years who have done everything. It's kind of like the kill, kill, kill approach to this Lyme disease. Where you just try to kill all the bacteria and all the co-infections and viruses and stuff. You just try to kill them all and just eradicate them from your body. And then, everything's going to magically, fall into place. That's kind of like what it is for somebody who's just like, I'm just going to show my work in galleries and just get out there and pound the pavement and do go, 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 go. And they just keep pushing that and keep pushing the envelope. And, a lot of times people find that they're not really selling that much in this scenario. It's like the kill, kill, kill is not working. Well, the sell, 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 the gallery, gallery, gallery thing is not working for them. And it's not that it doesn't work for everybody, but there's just so many artists who are trying to do that same strategy. And there's a finite amount of collectors who are going to these galleries and purchasing work. And even if you do have some work being purchased here and there, it's not really sustainable because maybe you're selling one piece, in a gallery every, 4, 5, 6 months. And, you're getting 3 sales in a year through these galleries, which is great. I'm not saying that's bad, but you're definitely not going to be able to sustain an art career that way. You're definitely not going to be able to pay your bills, pay your mortgage, afford your studio and your art supplies with that kind of a strategy. So what if you're doing it wrong? Or what if you can add to that and do some different kind of strategies? Like what if instead of the kill, kill, kill the bacteria and viruses and co-infection strategy, you're also layering that in with some nervous system reset and with some opening of detox pathways, through doing like deep sauna work or, through doing some coffee enemas. I know, TMI, but hey, it's all part of the process. Or, just like doing some sweating, doing some exercising, doing some rebounding or some vibration to get your lymphatic going. So you're getting the sewage out of your body through your lymphatic system. Those are ways of opening the detox pathways. But are there also similar strategies in your art career that you can use to kind of get out the sludge, right? Create less energy expenditure and have less time and energy put into doing these things that might not pay off, but kind of clearing out some of the sludge that allows you to sell or to use your energy more efficiently. So you're putting your work out there and you're getting real results and you're not necessarily expending as much energy or getting as much frustration, which also causes a negative mental block for you down the road, which it throws you into a whole lot of chaos. So that was just an idea I had kind of bubbling up in my mind. And maybe we can talk about a couple different ways of maybe thinking outside of the box or thinking in reverse or thinking of some different ways to clear these pathways, if you will, for getting your art career off the ground or selling more work. Okay, well, first and foremost, we're going to start with, your mindset and your mentality, because that is really everything. Your mindset is truly everything, not only in art or in wellness or healing, but in life. It really is everything. And I'm going to stick with these kind of wellness metaphors for a while because I think they're very powerful. When I was dealing with my back before I knew that it was Lyme disease, I just thought I had this horrible chronic pain and chronic back pain and pelvic pain because my back broke down and my pelvis broke down. And for 3 years, I was felt like I was being eaten alive from the inside out. And it was horrible. And turns out that's what was happening. But I also started to discover a lot of stuff with cognitive behavioral therapy and learning where your pain pathways and how your brain can create pain and neuro pathways that kind of solidify more pain in your body. And I started to get into Sarno, like John Sarno. He was a doctor who really just learned how to alleviate 90% of his patients' back pain. And these are people who were in wheelchairs, people who were really debilitated, who couldn't work. And he just learned how to tap into what was actually blocking them and what they were holding on to. It turns out it was a lot of anger and trauma and things like that people were holding on to, and it was manifesting as pain. And it was almost as simple as going through a couple seminars with him and reframing this and learning this about their brain that allowed them to let go of the pain. And most of them just got better. Some of them made a full recovery. Some of them were like 80, 90% better, and they could go back to their lives and running and get out of wheelchairs. It's pretty amazing. You can look into it. And how do you apply this to your art? Well, your mindset is also everything. Maybe you're poisoning your artistic flow or your sales by having the wrong type of mindset. Maybe holding on to some pain and some trauma and maybe some preconceived notions about, well, I can't sell art because my quote unquote demographic doesn't sell art as well as so-and-so demographic or whatever. Or maybe, I'm of this age and people don't really sell that much art when they're this young, or I just got started in selling work when you're just getting started, or so on and so forth, whatever it is. I come from this socioeconomic background, or, I have trauma in my life and it doesn't allow me to be able to get past that and, sell work. These are all things that are blocking you, and they're all mental blocks. And they're things that I think we need to work through to get ourselves to a place where, like the kill and the detox pathways, you're freeing up the sludge so the killing works better, or so the selling in this example works better or flows better. It's just a strategy of trying to kind of figure out what your own mental blocks are and then work through those. And I've got plenty of strategies and a lot of podcasts of how to do that. I don't want to make this too long going into all those, but maybe you have to work through getting rid of those mental blocks that are really holding you back. It could be as simple as that. You get rid of that one thing, all of a sudden the energy flows and all of a sudden you're selling. That's what happened with me when I started to tap into my energy and my positive energy and my abundance mindset. And I started to take the reins in my career. Things started to fall into place. And I noticed that when those blocks came back up, or when those mental or energetic blocks came back up, I wouldn't sell as well. And we've talked about that many times, but I think that is powerful. And I think maybe if it's not working for you, maybe you haven't quite tapped into that yet. Maybe you haven't quite tapped into what those energetic or what those mental, emotional, or even like trauma blocks are in your life. If you can kind of work through those and get through those, I think it will open up a lot of those pathways, if you will, to stay on this metaphor, and allow the sales to kind of flow through. What else? Okay, I'm going to talk about one more strategy or parallel between this whole wellness and health and, getting over a chronic disease and your career, because there are so many similarities. The other thing I talked about, not only just kind of freeing up the pathways, the detox pathways.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Or freeing up your mental blocks and all those things so you can allow your sales to flow through. Well, we're going to talk about what I said secondly, which was getting your nervous system in check and figuring out how to calm the fight or flight and that nervous system response. And you do that for Lyme or for a chronic condition. You're going to retrain your limbic system. You're going to retrain your vagus nerve. You're going to do, vagal toning. You're going to do like EMDR, or you're going to do humming, or you're going to do some sort of frequency stuff, or you're going to do somatic breathing or somatic techniques. You're going to do a lot of this stuff to kind of retrain your brain and your nervous system, your limbic system, and calm your system down so that healing can take place, right? That is very powerful. Well, how does that apply to your art as well, and your art sales, and your, maybe your blockages in your art? Well, I think it's a very similar thing. Maybe you can work on some of this nervous system and limbic retraining and somatic stuff, because a lot of times we are in the art world, we are so stressed out and putting so much pressure on ourselves to succeed. And we are kind of forcing the action a little bit. I see a lot of people doing that. There's almost like this really intense pressure to succeed and to be famous and get out there and be like, by the time you're 25, to just be like a social media influencer and making these big deals with other products online and getting paid that way and not having to work the day job and being a household name and just killing it. And I know that happens with some people. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it isn't really possible for the majority of us. And I think the majority of us, I do think it's possible for us to be successful as artists. I just think sometimes we have to focus on maybe playing the long game a little bit and having a sustainable career, not just hitting hard and then burning out bright and crashing, right? I don't think we want that. I think you might think you want that if you're a little bit younger, but you don't really want that. You don't want to crash and burn. You want to have a sustainable career where you can be a well-balanced human being who keeps creating through the decades, keeps inspiring through the decades. And how do you do that? Maybe you do that through some limbic retraining or through some vagal toning or some nervous system retraining. Or maybe it's as simple as metaphorically retraining your system to be able to understand that it is safe to go slower. It is safe to do the work and to consistently get out there and not necessarily feel like you have to be like, oh my God, I got to be recognized for everything I do. I got to put out all these reels. Like I got to put out 14 reels a day and I got to just hit people over the head. Because a lot of times, just like in the health and wellness space, if you are pushing the action too much, you can overload your nervous system or you can overload your system and therefore block yourself. Well, you can do that in the art world as well. You can overload people and their attention span. You can be like, oh, this artist is just like in my ear all the time. Or every time I open my feed, this artist has like 5 stories going on. You can overdo that. Or you can be overzealous with a collector or with a gallery. You can push the envelope too much where it becomes almost borderline annoying, or not even just annoying, but like maybe they're just like, well, okay, I just, I don't have time for this. This person's in my ear all the time. Or there's just a kind of a blocking energy that comes from forcing the action too much. We've talked about this with the law of attraction too, and things like that. A lot of times when you're efforting or over efforting too much, you're actually putting up an energetic block, or you're putting up a real social block where people are kind of like, okay, I get it. You want to be successful, or I get it. You want to sell work. There's something to be said about a cool, calm confidence, somebody who really just knows their worth and knows what they're doing and it feels confident. And it's like, I don't need to sell this to you right now. Like I have people who reach out to me sometimes and want something and they want to ask for too many things. And sometimes I just have to say no, or I have to say, well, that doesn't really align with what I'm doing. And a lot of times the sale will go through anyway because the collector will appreciate that I value my own work, which makes them value your work more. And also if they don't, that's not the right sale for you anyway. You don't have to push things through so intensely that you block your own energy or you come across as needy to a collector or to a gallery or to whatever you want to put in this slot that I'm saying. So those are 2 ways that I think there's a lot of parallels between, getting well from a chronic condition and also being successful or getting your career healthy, getting your art career healthy and getting the flow and getting out there and having a long-standing, healthy, balanced art career. So I hope you found this to be insightful or thought-provoking, because I do really find so many parallels with what I've been going through and what I went through, trying to get off the ground with my art career, and even how I can reframe some stuff and take that to the next level. And I think it's just really powerful. So I hope you found it that way too. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully this has inspired you to take stock in some stuff that's going on in your life and how to better yourself and how to better your creative flow and how to better your artistic approach and your approach to your art business. That's my goal, as always. So hope you're taking care of yourselves. Hope you're taking care of everybody else out there. And we will see you next time, as always, on the next episode.
Oh, man. Whoa, man. I'm so embarrassed, brother. I finally got it, man.
Ah, that's good to hear. It's about time. I was starting to get a little bit
That's right, man. Far out, brother. It was like aliens aren't even trying to communicate, man. It's like maybe it was saying like, we're the aliens, man. Whoa, what do you think about that? Did I blow your mind?
Well. Let me answer this way.
Whoa, man. I knew it, man. Far out, man. I was right. Wow. Wait, where's that other slice of pizza, man? I'm famished over here.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on. Please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.